final comment on that, Doctor?
Well, it could well be. We'll find ourselves ruled by the IMF. We'll be under an IMF austerity plan, forcing us to balance our exports and imports, forcing us to balance our budgets, the sort of thing that we've done to lesser developed countries for decades. So this may be what we face in the future. The world may say, we've had enough of you and your stupidity and all the trouble you cause everybody, and now you're going to do as we say, or you're not going to have any gas and oil. So that may be our future. They may put us into the box that we belong in.
Wow. He's a best-selling author of... tell us about the newest version of your book, Doctor.
It's had a second printing, so it's still available, and it will explain to them how the government has turned law away from being a shield of the people into a weapon against the people. All the things you talk about.
And it's the tyranny of good intentions.
That's right.
We'll be right back.
Hello, friends. This is Al.
I got it. Hey! I got
Look,
something that makes me want to shout.
This doesn't have to happen. We don't have to live under this tyranny. We can wake up. We can say no. I know the average person in government isn't evil. I know the average American out on the street isn't a bad person. But you've got to get as knowledgeable about the geopolitical things that are happening, the international finance developments, as you are about football and baseball and acting cool. Believe me, I like going to a football game. If I start watching sports, I get into it within days and then I'm addicted. But I have to be addicted with real issues, folks. We're going to get hurt real bad. We're being hurt real bad right now. But I mean stuff that makes the Great Depression look tame. 90% of this country was agrarian. 90% of this nation was rural in 1929 to 1940 during the Great Depression. 90% lived in the country, and the majority of them were self-sufficient. Around 80% were self-sufficient. The studies I've seen, 90% lived in the country, 10% in the cities. 90% now, or right at 89, there's actually been a flight to the country by some smart people, but 89%, if you want to get technical on last year's numbers, the latest, now live in the cities. 89%. 11% live in the country, but only about half of that 11%, 5.5%, are self-sufficient. Now, what do you think's going to happen if society collapses like the Great Depression? People are not as moral as they were then. People will steal you blind in a minute. The government isn't going to be there to help you. They're going to be there to, if you got money and land and two pennies rubbed together, the cops are going to have you by the ankles, shaking the change out of your pockets. I mean, that's what they're doing now. This is not a game. I keep stressing that and stressing that and stressing it and stressing it. And I want you to have a sense of urgency. I mean, I'm totally exhausted. I got home at 3:30 last night, got in bed at 4, got up at 8 after a hard shoot yesterday with Jesse Ventura. I'm not complaining, but I'm here 4 hours, and then I'm doing 2 hours of radio after this today. 2 hours of radio, and I feel guilty when I don't take, literally, lately it's been 10 interviews a day we're turning down. I mean, it's just massive. You know, I'm only to the biggest. I am exhausted. I want to go to bed right now. I want to go eat dinner and see my family. I'm not going to. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to have it said that I didn't do everything I could. Now, you don't have to save the world by yourself. But you better put some flyers up. You better talk to your neighbors. You better call into local talk radio or start your own show or do an access show, because the people are ready to hear the truth now, but most of them don't know. Most Americans are so passive, they don't even know who movie stars are, much less sports people, much less their politicians, much less what fractional reserve banking is. Folks, total collapse of society. It's guaranteed now. There's basically no way to even get out of it. All we can hope to do is to warn everybody we can about who did it, because these globalists are going to use the crisis they created to bring even more tyranny in. This is a hot tyranny they've set up. I mean, a bloody one. It's a bad one. We're trying to just save this country and save the dollar. And I'm going to ask you as listeners, please pre-order Fall the Republic. Please buy DVD burners. Please make copies of it. Pre-order it now. It'll ship out to you first. It's coming out next Wednesday, 6 days away. 6 days away from Fall the Republic. FallTheRepublic.com, Infowars.com. You'll be able to watch it first at PrisonPlanet.tv in super high quality. Burn it to DivX. Give it to people. Please. Because if we don't cause a massive awakening, and it's starting to happen, that makes it even more frustrating because we can really win and beat these people if you take action now. Fall the Republic. Pre-order today. Don't wait. Spread the word about the show. Keep warning, folks. We're having a big effect. Great job, crew.